Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Gibby, and welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
Each week we bring on a guest to talk with them about whatever they want to talk about. We have a large question bank and they select a few questions and then we just go from there. Should we bring our guest on and can you tell us a little about him?
Okay. I have not yet had a friend from the SEAL teams on our podcast yet. Mm-hmm. And today is the first time. I don't believe we'll talk very much about the teams and that sort of thing. His name is Rick. I graduated BUDS with him, and then I went to SEAL Team 3 with him. He is one of my dearest friends. He is a genuine, kind person. And so what I would like to do is bring Rick on.
All right, let's bring him on.
Let's bring him on.
I'm not sure if he's here yet.
Is he there?
There you are. Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
So I can do this. I'm in education, Randy. I learned a few things in my old age.
Wait, you're in education?
I'm a teacher, a special ed teacher.
Oh, I am too.
I know you are. We talk.
Wait, how do I not know you are? Why did Gibby not tell me that?
I didn't want to set...
I'm not that good of a friend, apparently.
No.
Gibby he leaves everything a blank slate because he wants me to discover things on the pod, I guess, but oh my gosh.
He doesn't want to be outnumbered here on this one.
Well, we could slide really quickly into educational talk, but I do want to hear a little bit about. So, are you in your garage? Where are you?
I'm in my basement.
Oh, okay.
I'm in
with
my
your
basement.
bike.
My bike, yeah. So out here on the East Coast, we don't have. Well, not many people have garages. It's carports, and so my bike, I just got to bring it down in the basement. It's kind of tight, so I hung it on the wall. And,
that bike right there probably costs more than the car I drive.
It was a ridiculous bike, but Randy, I did it anyway.
So, hi, Rick. Nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. It's been a few years.
That's what Gibby was saying before we brought you on.
Thank you so much for being on with us.
No, anything for you, brother. Anything.
I need $20 too.
In the mail.
Why don't we start by you telling us a little about yourself?
Like current things going on right now?
Current, past, future?
Yeah, no, current right now. So I am in education. That's kind of what my career currently is. My second career after the military. So I ended up being a special ed teacher. Loving that. That's one of the questions in there. We'll talk about that a little bit. But
okay, great.
Yeah, definitely married. Currently married. Got 4 kids. One is in California. She's also a teacher now. And then I have a son that just graduated high school. He's going to James Madison University. He's doing well. He's talking to me the other day. So I'm having the time of my life, Dad. This is amazing.
That's
so
so
don't
awesome.
forget to get your education while you're doing that.
Yeah, so he made the club volleyball team there. So he's doing good. He's enjoying life.
Nice.
Then my other son, he's a junior in high school. And he's a golfer, which is awesome because that's what I do. Right, Randy? We play a little bit of golf.
I haven't golfed in so long, but that's a whole other story.
That's one of my bucket list. 100 rounds in a year, Randy. That's my
really?
100 rounds.
Yes. So
you can do that.
Some of those are 9s, but that's okay. And so he's a golfer and a baseball player. So he plays for the team at school. And then
is that hard for him to switch back and forth between golfing and baseball?
No, I know. Talking, we had a couple lessons here and there, and the guy we took lessons from, he's this ancient Korean guy, and he's like, "It's no problem. You have your baseball swing, you have your golf swing."
I love it.
Right.
I miss golfing so bad.
Yes, I miss seeing he plays his slice about 40 yards out to the left and slices it
on purpose, or was you talking about me?
Talking about you.
Oh yeah, I used to. Yes.
Yes, and so then
I would line up ridiculously out of angle. And,
towards the houses.
But I would still hit the fairway most of the time.
Yes, he does.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and then I have a little girl. She's 8. She's in 3rd grade, enjoying life. She's a little swimmer. She swims and learning the piano and just kind of enjoys her
that.
Yes.
Wow, I love that all your kids have their things. That's amazing.
They do the thing. We live in a neighborhood. It's like literally a throwback to the '60s, or kind of that
Nice.
bygone days when the kids are just out and they're on their bikes, going to kids just knocking on doors. Hey, can she come out? They're like, sure,
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
I
That's a
could totally
dream as a
see
parent.
you walking out on the stoop with your martini and
You
lording
know,
over the porch.
we have our porch swing moments, my wife and I. Yes, just kind
That's
of so
awesome.
it's fun. Yeah, so great
Wow.
neighborhood. So yeah, so kids, a family. Danielle's my wife. She works for a Department of Defense right now. She's a records officer. She was wanted to be a librarian after she retired from the Air Force. And apparently, it's really hard to be a librarian.
Yeah.
Like
Well, apparently the librarians are all happy, so they don't leave.
she could barely just even volunteers. I mean, it was tough, and so she had to go work for a decent amount of money with the Department of Defense, being the records manager. So.
Is that
Well,
sort
there
of
you go.
librarian-ish a little bit, or not really?
Well, it's cataloging, I guess, records and keeping track of the records. So it's probably not exactly what a librarian does, but she had her master's in library and information science, and that got her
Oh,
in there.
very
So
cool. Yeah.
Hey, so share a time that you had a meaningful connection with nature.
nature, yes. So it kind of goes back when I got out of the military or the Navy and wanted to go to school. And so I was going to San Diego State and thought business was the right way. It's going to make money in the world, and that's with money you can do everything, right? It does buy happiness, and it does buy you time, and it buys everything. So that was my plan. And then as I was at a community college, and I was going to San Diego State, and I started thinking about it. I was like, is that what I really want to do? Kind of be in that office, and I always loved the outdoors, and I was an outdoorsy kind of guy. And so I thought about it, and finally, I kind of made the decision I was going to be. I wanted to be in the outdoors, and so looking through some things, saw wildlife management, and so it's biology, but it's also managing numbers and kind of managing animals and herds, and it's kind of for the public, right? It's public use stuff. So I went to Humboldt State, which is up in Northern California on the coast. It's in Eureka, Arcata, California. So it's close to Oregon. I mean, absolutely one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been in my life. It's this dramatic coastline, rocky coastline, and big waves coming in, and then it was the campus is built into the redwoods, and it's just these massive redwood trees around. The classes were interesting, right? Because it was loggers, right? Big logging industries up there, right? And then big fishery industry up there because they had Arcata Bay, so the big fishermen in there. And also you had the very militant environmentalists. I mean, chaining themselves to trees. And
Yeah.
so my
Yep.
ethics classes were amazing, right? It was just like, I couldn't wait to go to these classes and
Were
talk.
they some yelling?
Oh my God, it was crazy at times. Yes, so it was super fun. But there I am in Arcata, California, right, going to school. And so you get times in being in wildlife management, it's about being outdoors and understanding animals. And so I was doing a project. Um, and so I ended up being out in the redwood forest, and around there it rains a lot. I was just out there, I was hiking around, I was doing kind of watching things, kind of watching what the animals were doing or whatever, trying to, if you can find them. But I was in the Jedediah Smith Redwood Forest. I'm just standing there. It's kind of drizzling rain. It's a light rain, so it's not really pouring on you. And it's just this kind of surreal sound. I'm by myself, and it's super quiet. And when you walk in there, you can't. It's all the pine needles, so you can't really hear walking. So I just kind of stopped for a minute, and I'm in these trees that are like massive, like 15 feet wide, and they're all over. So I'm in these with these giants of these trees, right? And there's this surreal moment. It just kind of hit me that I'm really not alone here. There is something part of this. And I was like, what is it, right? It's just, I don't know, something just like big, right? I still get chills. I still can remember that day, just being out there. And these giant of trees, and they're like 350 feet tall, blocking out the sun, or blocking out the skies. A little bit, it's cloudy and rainy. And at that moment, I was just like, wow, there's something more to than just me, just people, right? I had no idea what it was, or still probably couldn't describe exactly what it was, but it was just this connection to like the world. And I think everybody always is trying to figure out what is this connection, right? Am I connected? like I've never had that ever since. And I've been some pretty cool places. It was just that one moment in these massive not monster trees, and it's just complete silence and just a light rain. I'm like, yes, there's something much bigger here than I'll ever know. I'm not quite smart enough to figure that out, but it
Wow.
was pretty amazing. And
A moment of enlightenedness.
if you yes, right.
Fleeting moment, yeah.
But if you ever get
That's
a chance,
amazing.
Jedediah Smith State Park and the Redwoods up in Northern California, just an amazing place to go. It should be on everybody's bucket list.
Well, I'm adding it to mine. It's probably not even that far.
You're not
from
too
where-
far. You're not too far from there.
Yeah. Have you heard the phrase, the more I know, the more I know I don't know?
Oh, absolutely, it was. Yes, it was just an enlightenment moment. You're like, all right, there's so much more to just me and to what I understand, and just always keeping that open mind. Like, there's just so much more to this world than what I know, and just try to be accepting and take it all in.
I had something completely different. I thought you were going to end up saying, and there he was, Bigfoot.
I thought it was going to be a mountain lion.
No,
Oh,
that's
it's the
awesome.
trees, man. It's
Yeah,
the
the
trees.
Okay,
energy.
Rick, have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Probably 10 times.
Anytime I think of something like this, I think about Toph, the earthbender, who has this connection to the ground and to the trees. And then if people have seen The Legend of Korra, it delves into that a little bit more. The last time I was out there, I was just taking a moment to just look around, and I felt a little bit like Toph. I'm like, wow, I can feel the earth, which obviously I'm not an earthbender, but
But you can. You definitely feel it when you get out there alone, especially like the North Woods.
We did a stint in the North Woods, and it was brutal.
You were like 5 days out in the North Woods by yourself doing navigate. You were all by yourself for 5 days.
wow.
Yes, it was some funny stories about that, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yep, that's a different time. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Rick, can you tell us about a time that you failed at something, but you ended up gaining much more than you expected from it?
Yeah, when I was reading through your list, right, this one kind of struck me. I was like, wow, the bucket is full. The list is deep, right? Kind of like a little reflection on my life. I was like, oh, it's supposed to be positive here. So,
It's supposed to be positive in a realistic type of way, which sometimes
yes,
is a
yeah.
little
So I'm
negative.
like going through. I was like, all right, marriage. We don't know. Let's see, I failed. Money, yeah, failed. The kids, yeah, probably not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up so much with the
I was
question.
like,
Yeah,
no,
for older people, this resonates pretty bad to me too.
yes, no. Not really. So, but there's one that kind of stuck out that because it says in there, keep positive, and that when I gained something from it, right? What did I gain from this? So,
Yeah.
it was early on. It was when I first joined the Navy. I was in the nuclear power program, right? I took the test to get in the nuclear power school, and apparently I passed. I was never a good student, and so I was always suspect on how I passed to get into this.
Really?
So I ended up going to Orlando and made it through basic training. And then there were like 3 levels to this school that kind of goes over 2 years. And so the first school I was at machinist mate. And so I was in machinist mate nuclear power school. But it was all about kind of pumps and pipes and stuff. And so I was kind of a mechanical guy. So I liked that, right? And we did some math, right? It was a lot of math, but it was not real hard, a little bit advanced algebra kind of stuff. And then I took advanced algebra in school. So it wasn't too bad, I did average, very average, which is the bottom of the list because those guys there are pretty bright kids. So this one was just your machinist made A school, and so you go and you learn about pumps, pipes, and just kind of that stuff. And wasn't too bad, right? Not too demanding. I made it through. I think most everybody made through. But then power school shows up, and in power school, that's where we really got into the science, the chemistry, the physics, the hardcore math. And I remember as we're going along, probably halfway through it, and the school's 24 weeks long. And so we're going through, and one of my chemistry instructors like, you guys are going to find this interesting, but I'm just finishing up my grad school, and we were studying the same stuff, so this is fresh on my mind, so it's going to be great. And I was like, are you kidding me, man? I was like, I had to take algebra twice, and okay, so that's kind of the level that this was at, right?
24 weeks.
So 24 weeks. So I'm going along probably from week one. There's some requirements of you, right? If you have like over a 3.0 average, you're on your own. You're doing what you got to do. If you have down to like a 2.5 average, I mean 2.5 was failing if you had below that. So my average all the way through was like 2.51. So that's where I was. So if you're on this level of, if that's where you were on the GPA scale, you had to put in an extra 40 hours of study time in a classroom. I mean, you're going to school 40 hours a week. On top of that, I was putting another 40 hours of study time.
Oh my gosh.
It was just amazing. I can't. And I mean, literally, people would be in class. You would have to, you couldn't sleep, of course. So people would stand up. People would fall down from falling asleep.
Oh
I mean,
my gosh.
you'd be in class, people would hit the floor because they fell asleep standing up. It was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
So I came to probably about week 4. You know, I talked to my petty officer who was in charge of me, right? I was like, hey, I really don't think this is me, man. This is not what I was cut out to be. I wasn't a good student, and I think this isn't for me anymore. He goes, oh, so you think you want to quit? It's like I'm thinking I need to do that because for the good of everybody. He's like, I tell you what, if you think you want to quit and you try to quit, I'm going to make sure you get the worst duty station that's possible out there. I'm going to make sure the next 4 years of your life are as miserable as possible in the military because you signed up, buddy, and you've already made it past. I got you for 6 years. I am going to make your life in the military as miserable as I possibly can. And I have all the power over where you go next. I was a 19-year-old kid. I was like, I believed him, right? I totally believed him. I was just like, oh man. So now I'm here. To hear this, I was like, I had no idea people could do that to you, right? And so,
And why?
And why? I was like, why would you? And so, because he had his quota, he had to get enough people to pass, right? So he had his job to make people pass. I wanted to quit. He wasn't going to let me quit. And so, I mean, now I'm under these threats that if I even fail out or try to quit or even perceive to quit, then my life in the military, and I was stuck for another 4 years. I was 4.5 years. You know, I was going to be miserable. And so I stuck it out. And I tried, and I didn't want to, quitting, right? That's almost failure, right? So I'm going through it. I'm 80 hours a week. I'm in this building. It's like, secret stuff. So there's no windows. There's no light. Well, there's no outside light.
Yeah.
The walls are kind of painted a pale yellow. And that's just, and you have this fluorescent lighting. And then there I was, 80 hours a week for like until week 22. And so I'm going along. I'm just miserable. My life, that year there were 3 people that committed suicide in that class. Not just my class, but in the whole school. There were 3 people that committed suicide. It was horrible. It was miserable.
That should be their clue to reevaluate what they're doing a little bit.
It was just unbelievable. And so so I finally make it to week 22, and I got my 3.502 now GPA, right? And so I'm going through, and so finally, what my petty officer comes in and is like, petty officer knows you because you get to be nuke, you get to be an E4 right away, so you get more money, right? So petty officer knows. He was like, your GPA, you're just barely hanging on. You're like a couple points away from failing this class. You're just a couple points away from failing 2 classes, and if you failing 2 classes, you automatically go to a board. He was like, I think that you're probably going to need to go to the board to see if they want to keep you into this class, right? I was like, I've been trying to tell you that for I don't know how many weeks now. That's exactly where I need to be. Hey, let's go talk to this board, right? So I was like, all right. He's like, all right, it's Thursday, right? Tomorrow's the board. Show up tomorrow at the board, and we'll do this. And I was like, okay. So I was kind of nervous. I'm still 19 years old. I didn't know what to expect. And I literally show up, and I go to this table that's probably like, 15 feet long. And there's 6 people on each side, and there's 2 people at the head, and then there's me at the other end of the table. And they took turns. Each of them had a question for me. And they just went down the list from reactor principles to chemistry to the math to the machinist mate. And I had paper, I can figure out the equations, and I had to do it. And that was just me against these like 10 people. I finally made it. I got through it. It was like an hour. It was miserable. I had to wait for about half an hour. And the petty officer comes in and he's like, hey, the board thinks that maybe you kind of squeaked by, that maybe you did well enough to pass this. But they're thinking that they don't really want you in charge of their nuclear reactors anymore after this. So we're going to have to let you go. And I was like, tell them the whole along. But when you hear that you failed at something, it was like, oh man, it was like just this heavy weight is like on you. Right? I'm gonna tell my family that I failed the first thing I do in the military. I'm a failure, right? So this whole heavy weight, I'm just like, it's like unbearable. 19-year-old kid with this just heavy weight on you. And it's like, so this was Friday, and they're like, take the weekend, do what you got to do, show up, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next, right? Show up on Monday. I was like, all right. So I had all day, the rest of the day Friday. And Saturday, it was just this gloom over me, right? And then Sunday morning, I don't know, call it whatever it was. I remember exactly, Sunday morning, whatever the day was. I get up, I walk outside, I stop. I kind of walk outside and I look around. And I see color. For the first time, I've noticed, and this is Florida, right, in Orlando, and the sky is this intense blue. I've never noticed this before while I've been there. The grass is this emerald green. And I'm looking around and these flowers and all, and it's like, why am I just noticing that I see in color for the first time? I've never experienced that. It's like, what is happening to me? And I think for like that, at this moment, I was just like, everything's going to be okay. I have no idea how, why, where, but everything's going to be okay.
I love that story.
That's
I do.
incredible.
I think of it.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And so, yeah, what did I gain from that? And I think it was just give it a little bit of time, right? And even in the most heaviest, darkest of times, things are going to be okay. Just things are going to be okay.
That's
So-
great
And
advice.
And then what?
And then what?
And then I showed up. So, quick story there. Monday morning, they talked to me. Okay, what do you want to do? Right? Where do you think you want to go? I was like, well, I came in the Navy wanting to go to Buds, and I wanted to be a SEAL, and they laughed at me. Like, no, I think I want to be a SEAL. Right? A whole nother story on why, but they're like, really? All right. Tell you what, it's Monday. Wednesday's the PT test. Show up Wednesday morning, 5 o'clock at the pool. I was like, but wait a minute. I've been 80 hours.
Yeah.
I haven't touched a weight. I haven't swam. I haven't ran in 8 months. So yeah, that's it. You got one chance. If not, you're going to sub school and you're going to be in a sub as a machinist mate for the rest of your career. I was like, gotcha.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh.
And somehow, Lexi, the rest of the story, and ended up right.
No, but honestly, how did you pass the PT test? That's incredible.
Just
Sheer
I don't
will.
Sheer will and thinking about being in a sub for the rest of my 4 years. I think is what it was, Lexi.
That's amazing.
So yes, that's why one of those moments I thought kind of for the rest of my life, just it's going to be okay. This too shall pass, right? That's a simple saying, but it really will. It really will. So yeah,
Everything is temporary. That's the theme of this whole thing right there.
it is. It is.
But in the middle of it, it can just feel like all encompassing.
Big storm.
Unbelievable. The way Lexi, people ask, how, and they ask me about going to Buds, and I was like, you know what? I would redo full Buds 10 times. I would do 10 Hell Weeks. I would do whatever 5 years going through Buds before I ever went back to nuclear power school. It was just for me, it was that bad of an experience. And
Yeah.
Gosh. And they're like, oh, you might be the only one that's ever said that, but
Well, I feel like that's also a testament to individuals following their own passions and their own interests and their talents. recognizing it's not failure if you don't fit into a path that doesn't align with all of those things, even though all of these outside sources might be telling you that you need to fit into that box. If you don't fit, then you don't fit, and that doesn't mean that you failed.
Yeah, no, that's a great lesson right there, right? It's just that was, and there have been many boxes I didn't fit in, but I found the ones that I did, and
And had to spend 80 hours a week there for endless weeks. Goodness.
oh, but I
Well,
got pretty good at math. I have to tell you, Lexi, I came out of there. I was pretty good at math, and when I finally did go to college, I was like, this is pretty easy.
Have you ever pictured what your life would have been like had you stayed the course?
Yeah, it was so different, so very different. I would have been, yeah, no,
Everything.
it definitely was not meant to be, Lexi. There was whatever the power is to be, just they were smiling on me that weekend, right?
They're like, let
we
me introduce color to you, Rick.
we would not have got to go golfing in the Philippines.
And never would have been golfing in the
Most
Philippines.
importantly. Rick, can you tell us about a topic that you could talk about for hours?
Oh, and this is going to be near and dear to your heart, Lexi. It's
Okay.
education. I mean, I know. Randy told me you were an educator and special, but I mean, this is, one of those boxes where you fit in. Or I absolutely fit into this box, and it's definitely
Awesome.
the population that I teach too, right? Um, so education in general, there's a lot of people like ask me about being in education. Like how are the kids? There's like, are they? It's like, are we doomed? Is the world? It's like, no, 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 no. Right? Have faith. These kids are brilliant. I'm a special educator, so I've run the gamut between kids that really had some special, emotional, intellectual, developmental needs. Right? I've taught that class, and I've been with those kids. Love those kids. They're it's like so endearing. You just love them. Their interest for life and just how they are. It's amazing, right? But I also teach the kids that it's just reading has been a tough time for them, right? Whether it's just their processing of information is difficult. It could be dyslexia. It just could be learning a second language. And the school I teach in primary, it's like 80% are first generation or immigrants themselves. And so this is our school, like like 75 languages are spoken at home from all the kids that attend our school, right? We got about 2,000 kids in my school. So it's a diverse, it's wide ranging, kids from everywhere, right? I'm with those kids that just reading has been hard for their whole life, and they've known academic failure from day one, right? Just because they could not read well. And so they come in here in our class, and I teach government. So I'm a social studies teacher and teaching government. And right now the kids are 15 years old. They're 10th graders. And you ever try to teach government to a 15-year-old who, if they're kind of savvy, they're like, Mister, and they coach you call him Mister, I can't vote. I can't vote for another 3 years. I don't work. Nobody's taking my taxes. And you know what? It doesn't really affect me right now. So why should I live? I mean, they just have a hard time relating to the subject, right? So like, okay, I'll tell you why. One, because I laugh. No. And so we go through why they need to learn now about these things. Why? Because it's going to affect them. They're going to be getting jobs. They're going to be voting. And that's not the time to start learning about it, right? They need to know this stuff prior. So we go slow. And it's just, I love the kids, right? I mean, it's so fun. A lot of people ask me, how do you put up with, being a military person, right? Because once I got out of, I was an officer. I got out of the Navy and got into the Army and I was a military officer, right? Like, how do you put up with the disrespect of those kids, And it's like, it's completely different. You don't walk in there with a rank on your shoulder in a classroom. And so you don't walk in with respect. You walk in and with these kids, you earn their respect by giving respect. It's a two-way street there. Kind of understanding them, who they are, and for them to, and it's not about them liking you, but it's about them trusting you that you're not out to get them, right? So it's kind of liking. And so, and it's like, there's no disrespect. These kids I teach, some of them are affiliated with gangs, so it's a very tough crowd. Some are just trying to make it through. They're trying to do their best. and I understood really quickly that the traumas that these kids go through, and it's kind of like a lesson in life. Like everybody's going through stuff, right? You don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like my whole teaching philosophy with this group of kids is like, really like the medical philosophy, like do no harm, right? Make this a safe place to come. Don't
Right.
make this another traumatic experience for these kids because there's food scarcities for some. There's all the different kind of traumas, whether it's emotional, physical, um, just whatever they're going through. You don't know what they're going through on a daily basis or just that morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these kids are going through a lot of stuff, and they really are. So, we try to make it that safe space for them to come. Um, and I just learned a lot, just with these kids, and it's like a life lesson, right? Everybody you meet out in the world, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're anywhere, like everybody's going through stuff. So don't add to their life. Don't add trauma. Be kind of be pleasant. Be a light in their life. Be someone that they like can remember, like, just that random person was actually kind of pleasant to me. Like, okay, that was helped out a little bit, right? So that's kind of my goal in life, right? Don't don't add to people, right? Don't add to what they don't want to
Yeah.
be part of. Right? Be a
Yes.
safe place. So I'm a pretty friendly guy out there. And Randy was like, yeah, I was maybe to my detriment in the teams at times. I trusted people a lot, and so that's kind of how I go about life, right? I take that to the classroom. I take that out to just in general to my life.
Rick has just touched on pretty much all the main best topics to talk about in teaching. First of all, we're
Yep.
talking about trauma and what kids have. Our baseline should be seeing them for who they are and not needing to know all of the layers underneath to know that they might be there and that they need our love and our support. Then the part that you talked about with having a classroom where they can where respect means that they can trust you, not they don't have to like you but they can trust you. That's another great point too. I mean, it's almost like Christmas when you have a student who didn't trust you before, who does trust that your classroom is a safe place, and that you're always welcome no matter how late you are, and that no matter what, you believe in them and you have reasonably high expectations for them. I mean, that is like gold when you're like, oh, I got them.
It is, right? And it's an amazing feeling when these kids just, they finally get it and they stop by every once in a while. Just in between classes, they poke their head in and say, hey, Mr. Noyes, how are you? It's like, you're the first person to ask today. I'm doing good. Yeah, thanks for asking. Like, "Oh, all right. It just makes your day, and we still have kids from previous years. They just come by, they're
Mm-hmm.
graduating, they're seniors, they're graduating.
That's
They just,
awesome.
they just come by our class, and I work with an amazing guy. This guy Tor. He's a former Marine, so he and I just we have a great. So,
So between you two, you have Marines, Navy, and Army all in one
yes, we
classroom.
do.
That's wild.
So it's fun, but we just make it different, right? And we treat it, especially government. It's not something that you just need to know facts. You need to know processes. These are some terms, some concepts that you're going to take with you for life. You need to
Mm-hmm.
understand kind of how our government works. Government's not going to be, the content might not be what they're coming for. We have turned it into a writing class. I mean, our goal is to try to make them better writers, and we try to explain, like this, we use government as our content, but we're
Mm-hmm.
going to we're going to learn how to write better because if you can write, you can defend yourself. You can do so many things.
Rick, you like being a teacher.
I love being a teacher,
You
man. It's
love
like
being a teacher. I love it.
I can talk for hours about these kids and
Uh,
just what they are and what they can do.
Rick, can you tell us something that is going unexpectedly well for you right now?
Yes, yes. And this was an easy one because right now my life is going unexpectedly well. I mean, it's like health. I'm very healthy, super healthy, still out. Another question coming up: what do I do? Or how do I keep
Yeah.
Yeah.
physically fit? Whatever. So the health is going. Right? The family is just everybody in the family's doing well. All the kids are enjoying life. They're happy. My wife is happy. I'm working towards that 100 days of golf, right? It's just all is going unexpectedly well. And so, yeah, the career with teaching, my personal life, just being get to do what just stuff for me is pretty awesome, right? I can be there for the kids. I take my daughter to the school bus, and which she says, "You don't need to take me to the school bus. I got this."
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
You get to take her.
I get to take her. So,
Yeah.
and my other kids, and he's doing great. He just told me in college, he's like, "I'm having the time of my life, Dad. This is amazing." And I was like, "Ah, thanks, buddy." I was worried. I was really worried about him, right? But having the time of his life is like, you're still studying, right? So he's doing good, and everybody's just like enjoying life themselves as a family. And so it's like just unexpectedly. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're always like we earlier were talking like nothing's forever. Things are only temporary. So I'm like I'm waiting.
Your positive energy is out of control. I love it. And you
Yes.
already
Yeah,
alluded
it's
to,
just
going into our next question. So, what do you enjoy doing as far as staying active?
if it's going to down to one thing right now, what I'm enjoying is these adventure races. So running became a little more of a chore. So I did run for a while, but it's just I never really liked it that much. I did it because it's good for you, right? It keeps you in shape, but it was always a chore. And then turning 50, things start hurting a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I see some of my other buddies that were in
Not
the
sure what you're
military
talking about, but yeah, keep going.
or whatever, like they're like getting knee replacements and hips are hurting. I was like, I'm not far from there. So I was like, I'm just going to stop running.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, what am I going to do? So, I mean, you see my bike in the back, right? I
Yeah,
told you I got a ridiculous bike. Um,
it's pretty.
I ride my bike a lot, as much as I can, right? And a mountain bike. I was doing triathlons, and so a big part of that is the run, right?
Run,
I was
yeah.
able to swim well. I would bike great, and then the run comes. Not the run would just kill her, right?
Yeah.
So adventure racing. So it's all kind of like these three things, but it's all mixed in with orienteering. So you got a map and compass, and the whole thing is you're racing against it. It's always a race. So there's that competitive edge, right? That competitive thing.
Uh-huh.
So you got to find your points, whether it's on the water, and the water is usually a paddle, a canoe paddle, a kayak paddle. The next leg is either trekking or mountain biking. You're riding around on your bike, you're finding these points, and then other parts of it's trekking. So trekking is not running. So you don't have to run. If you want to clear the course and find all the points or do better, you can go run, but I'm not running. So you're out there in the woods, you're walking around, you're looking for points. They got this competitive thing going. 2 weekends ago, I was out on the Shenandoah River, right? And we're paddling on the Shenandoah, and there's like this family of bald eagles flying around us. And we're just watching these bald eagles, and it's like amazing, right? You're on the
Yes.
Shenandoah River in the Shenandoah River Valley. It's just amazing being out there, right on the paddle. And then you get on the mountain bike, and mountain bike, there's ups and there's, you get the hard up and the terrifying down, right?
Yeah.
Which is so much fun. I love that. But you get on these ridges, and you can just look over the Shenandoah, just the whole valley, and it's like, oh, this is amazing, right? I'm getting that feeling again, right? That connection to the earth. And then you're out there walking around. You're finding these points. So all together, it's just like I love it.
Well, that sounds pretty intense overall.
Hey, so Rick, tell us a simple joy that never gets old.
Simple joy that never get. Yes, this one was. I thought about it. And it was pretty kind of easy too. And I've got 4 kids, and so I'm a family person, right? Always enjoyed them. Been a big part of their lives, and so like the kids in general, right? Or just never get tired of the kids. But one thing in particular that I really, really enjoy that I look forward to almost every day now with not with my little one, but it was that nightly chat, that bedtime chat that I get to have with my kids. And for some reason, whatever, because during the day they're busy and they're just going, so you don't really have time. Everybody's busy. Your schedules, you're moving to the next thing. You have to get through stuff. But at bedtime, right? They finally get all ready. Their teeth are brushed. They finally get in bed, and they don't really want to go to bed. So somehow now you're a captive audience, and so they start talking, right? And I think I've read about this. Like kids do this, but it's just like they start talking about their day and kind of really what's on their minds. Like my little girl right now, and this has happened with all my kids. My little girl right now, she always starts out, "Hey, Dad." And I was like, "All right." Here we go. She always starts, "Hey, Dad," and it's just random things on her mind that that she's thinking about or she doesn't quite understand, and she's pretty curious about so many things. And it goes in all kinds of directions, right? It can just go like, hey, Dad, what was your favorite movie you ever watched as a kid, right? And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Let's talk each night. And it's always, hey, Dad. It's like kind of me powering down at night too, right? And she's powering down, and it's just that connection that just her and I have. And she's pretty connected with her mom. She and her mom are really tight. And so this is kind of like my time that I get with her. I'll cherish it from each of my 4 kids. This is, and we definitely
That
don't get
sounds
that time
wonderful.
anymore with my sons, right? They're always busy and doing their things. But with
Yeah.
her, she still have that. I'm just waiting for the day where she no longer wants me to come, and she comes in. Are you tucking me into bed tonight, Dad? It's like, yes, I am. One of those, that's most cherished times of my day. That 30 minutes I have with putting her to bed at night.
That's an awesome answer. Can you tell us, what would your message to the world be if you could have one message?
Yeah, I thought about this a little bit, right? I take it back to my teaching. My message to the world is find your purpose. Just find your purpose. Because I see these kids that don't have a purpose right now, and they're just lost. I try to teach these kids and talk about it. Find your purpose, right? If you have a purpose, you have a direction. And if you have a direction, you can have a plan. And if you have the plan, you can set some goals, right? And then you can have understand each day. If I'm doing, you can set down each day at the end of the night. It's like, did that help my purpose? If each day you can say yes, then keep marching on. But if it was like, no, okay, we're readjust. Where did I go wrong? What's going on here? Where do I need to? How do I need to redirect this to get back towards my purpose? And it could be whatever it is. For kids in high school, it's like, man, just make sure your purpose is that you don't limit your options getting out of high school, right? Because the world is a big place, and you have so many options right now. So many doors are open for you. You find a purpose, you can make life how you want it to be. If you just let life happen to you without a purpose, life will happen to you. And I promise them, life's gonna happen. You can't stop it. It's coming. It's gonna happen, and it might not be your choosing. If you can find your purpose, you can make your plan. You can make the life that you want.
That's a really amazing message. The way you lined it out makes it seem very simple, but it's not that simple.
I'm kind of a simple guy here. It's got to be simple for me. So yeah. So that would be my message to the world. Find your purpose.
That's a great
Awesome.
message.
Yeah.
Rick, thanks so much for your time and for joining us on the pod.
This has been wonderful. This reflection, right? Oh boy, it's like
That was what Rick said. He's like, man, you have a lot of good questions. I mean, a lot of things to think about. And I was like, well, that's what, that was what we were hoping. Hopefully we just bring a little bit of joy to somebody, mostly for you and your family and your friends. So anyhow, thank you for joining us.
you guys has been fantastic. Thanks for the opportunity. Kind of making me think a little bit about life and how much things are. I'm pretty fortunate. I'm definitely fortunate.
You
Yeah.
sound like you're super fortunate.
Thank you guys so much, and Gibby, we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Have a great day.
Talk to you
Hey,
later, Rick.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, man, that was so fun.
Rick did not disappoint.
No.
I am kind of in awe. He is a very happy dude. He's got
Oh
it
my
going
gosh. I know. I loved his stories. I loved his story from the nuclear program.
on. Yeah.
Gosh.
I love that story. I think of it, like I
I
said,
love the
often.
end of the story. Gosh, I just really felt for little 19-year-old Rick. I mean, so young to be going through something where you are feeling so stuck and, like you
Helpless.
said, threatened to, yeah.
He was helpless.
And then I loved hearing about his current venture in education and the positive things that he had to say about being a teacher. So cool, and sounds like he has such a great impact on his kids, his students.
Yeah. The dude is definitely taking advantage of all the little moments. I especially liked when, I think it was the question of, what is unexpectedly going well in his life. And his answer is my life, my family,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's That's a mouthful of words, and he is really all in on that.
Pretty fortunate that he is able to say that. I loved his
Yeah.
answer for the simple joy that never gets old. The bedtime routine with his kids and hearing the things that they have to say and making the time to be present to just be there and be open to any topics, whether they're light or heavy, funny or very serious. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I was really very fortunate to serve time with him in the teams. We had such a great time, and it is so awesome that he, after the teams, and he flourished in the rest of whatever he's done so far.
What did you think about the adventure trips? What were those called?
He told me or talked to me a little bit about those when we went on our whitewater raft trip, and they sounded intriguing.
I thought that was super cognizant of him to recognize, hey, running is not fulfilling, and it's not, if anything, it's going to cause damage because it's so high impact. So what else can I do that I like, but still gets, checks off those boxes of what I'm searching for?
Yeah, no, it's a bit of wisdom right there. I don't like doing that. I'm not going to do that. I can do something else and still have the same amount of fun.
I really liked the message that he signed off with of finding your purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, he obviously has found his. He is a happy dude.
All right. Well, that was another episode of Porch Swing People. We'll see you next week.
Find your purpose.
Or else.
Or else. Out.
Or else somebody else will. Out.
Yeah. Life will happen. Yeah. Out. Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.